can you tell us what your name is?
Haley Johnson.
And what is something that you struggle with because of your disability?
I think something I struggle with because of my disability is being independent, doing things on my own, things that a lot of sighted people take for granted. Like going to the grocery store, that's something that I struggle with because it's hard for me to see everything on the aisles and scanning the aisles and basically finding things in a timely manner. So just a lot of everyday things.
Okay. When did you first become blind?
I was born with retinopathy of prematurity, so I was born completely blind in one eye and born visually impaired in the other eye.
What advantages do you feel, if any, being visually impaired brings?
I think an advantage that I have noticed personally, I think that visually impaired people can judge a person's character better than sighted people can, because we learn to kind of perceive the person not through facial expressions or body language, but by their tone of voice. And I think we just have a better sense of that person.
Awesome. What is something specific you had to overcome due to your disability?
For me, I feel like I had to overcome a lot of judgment from other people. A lot of people judge what they don't understand. So for me, I can walk around and function like a normal sighted person. And when people see that I'm struggling with something, their first thought is, what's wrong with her? Or why is she doing that? Why does she look confused? And it's because I'm visually impaired. And so one thing I really had to overcome is judgment from other people and just learning to not let it affect me.
Awesome. And are you going to, or do you plan to go to school? And if so, for what?
I know I'm going to be taking a couple college classes. I want to become a CNA, which is a certified nursing assistant. You don't have to have an actual college degree for that, but I am going to be taking a couple college classes to become licensed to do that.
Awesome. And do you have any special talents?
I like to draw.
What kind of art do you like to draw?
I like to do a lot of nature stuff, like trees and animals and stuff like that.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. What is your name?
Rita Adler.
And when did you first become blind?
I was born 3 months premature, and so I was in an incubator, and the doctors gave me too much oxygen, and so I have retinopathy of prematurity.
Okay. What is something you struggle with because of your disability?
One thing I struggled with was learning the skills that regular people had to do, like crossing the streets and learning how to cook and stuff like that.
Awesome. And what advantages do you feel being visually impaired brings?
One advantage I feel it brings is that for me, in my case, I have just enough vision to where I can read and write and enjoy colors and the good things of the world, but I'm blind to the point where I can't really tell about details, so I can't really tell bad things.
Okay. And what special talents do you have, if any?
I'm an author. I like to write science fiction and fantasy stories for children.
For children. So, what's your favorite sci-fi fantasy?
I like Harry Potter.
Harry Potter's a good one. Why do you like Harry Potter?
Because the writer does a really good job of describing things and keeping me interested in the story, and it's magic and wizards and kind of an escape from reality.
Awesome. Do you have any work that you could share with us?
Yeah, I have one story called The Blind Princess, where it's kind of about me and my life, but it's more of a science fiction fantasy type point of view, because it's my how I imagine the world. I'll imagine regular things, say a fountain or something. I'll imagine, oh, it's an enchanted fairy fountain, or a hallway. Oh, it's this magical star tunnel type thing. So it's pretty much how I see the world and events in my life, how I've imagined them.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Can you tell us what your name is?
My name is Paul Tandy, and I'm from Anchorage, Alaska.
When did you first become blind?
I first became blind when I was born, and so basically I was born blind. And I was born in Taiwan 3.5 months early. I weighed 2 pounds at the time, and because of the fact that I was born too early, they had to give me oxygen to keep me alive, and in that process, the oxygen ended up blinding me. After that, I was put into an orphanage for a year, and then was adopted by the parents that I currently have now in Anchorage.
Awesome. What is something that you struggle with because of your disability?
Well, sometimes people say, do you want to go to a movie? And I'm like, not really. A lot of people like to go see movies, and it's not really my thing. So socially, sometimes it can be a bit difficult, or people want to go to museums and you can't really feel anything. That can be quite hard for me, but I do try to live a normal, everyday life like everyone else.
What advantages do you feel being visually impaired brings?
I feel like there's a lot of advantages being blind, honestly. One of the advantages that I think being blind has with it is that, well, A, we get to read dots. Looks like the Matrix according to some people. But, not everyone can read dots, and I think that's really cool. But one of the biggest advantages, I think, of a blind person is that you can really judge a person from who they are when you first meet them. A lot of people that can see, they judge people for how they first look, and I can completely understand that. But as a blind person, I can judge someone for who they really are, what they portray to be, and I think that's definitely an advantage of being blind.
Do you have any special talents?
Well, I'm not sure how talented I am, and I'm not sure if any of them are because of my blindness, but I do play the guitar amongst other instruments, and I do rap me on music and rap me on songs, and I think I'm pretty good at that. When I was younger in high school, I was a wrestler, and I tell you what, it was one of the hardest things I ever did in my life, but I went to the state tournament, and I was the first blind wrestler ever to be in the Alaska state tournament, so that's definitely really cool. So I'm not sure if I have any special talents, but I like to think of myself as a pretty talented guy on some things.
Hi, my name is Erin Foley, and I am the director at the Hatland Center for the Blind, a program of Junior Blind.
How long have you been working at Hatland?
I have been working at the Hatland Center for a little over 5 years now.
How long have you been teaching?
I have been teaching in some capacity since I was in middle school, somewhere around 12 or 13. I started out as an assistant swim instructor to my mom, and I did that all the way up until I went to college, and even while I was in college. And then while I was at college, I was a teacher for individuals learning how to drive buses for a company called ASUCD Unitrans at UC Davis. And then after that, I went into orientation and mobility school to become an O&M instructor. Teaching is something that I always wanted to do. I just never thought about doing it in a large classroom setting. I had already had such experience with the one-on-one teaching that was what I wanted to find. And so that's how I came across O&M.
So what do you do here?
What do I do here? Well, right now I am the director, so that's a new position for me. I just started in July of 2015. So right now I'm working on keeping the Hatland Center running in all of its day-to-day kind of managings, working with applicants who are interested in coming in, talking to people who might be interested in coming to the Hatland Center, giving tours, doing a lot of administrative stuff, and then, checking in with students and teachers and seeing if they have anything that they need help with or whatever. So it's kind of a wide array of things now.
And, why are you passionate about your job?
Why am I passionate about my job? Well, I love helping people, and I grew up with an aunt who had a disability, a grandfather who had a disability, and some cousins with disabilities. None of them had to do with vision loss, though, and I always love to learn things that are new, and so that's how I came across O&M school. And why I'm passionate about what I do is there is nothing better than the sensation that you have helped someone to become independent and to reach their greatest potential. And I get to listen to all of the students as they graduate from the Hatland Center and hear everything that they have learned, and it's such a wonderful feeling. And then even after they've graduated from Hatland Center, several students just stay in contact with us. They come by and visit. They tell us how much of a difference we have made in their lives. They ask advice, and you really wind up making friends, even though they were students at one point. Once they reach that kind of beyond student point, they become friends and they look for you for advice, and it's just such a wonderful feeling to know that you helped out in that process.
So what's your favorite part of your job?
What's the favorite part of the job? My favorite part of the job. Okay. Depending on the day, well, for example, yesterday we went to a Giants game. That's a pretty awesome part of the job, especially because the Giants won. It's giving individuals new experiences. So that can be from something as little as, here's how you use the ATM, or here's how you deposit a check. And it's the little triumphs where they could do something independently for the first time that they never thought they needed to do, knew how to do, could ever do. Or it's the big experiences like the Giants game, or kayaking, or getting to pet an elephant, anything like that, where you're just giving those new experiences and you see the joy and the light up of the face and the eyes of each individual. I think that's probably the best part of my job.
Awesome. So what are some short-term and long-term goals you have for the students here?
Short-term and long-term goals. Okay, so short-term goals are always being able to manage the day-to-day aspects of living and just being able to, wake up in the morning, do everything you need to do, go to bed that night, manage your finances, feed yourself, get places you want to go, just all the day-to-day little things about living. Long-term goals are to see each student be as successful and independent as they are capable of being. So that can be someone who wants to go to college and get a job, or that could be someone who wants to go and do a bunch of volunteer work, whatever it may be. I want to see each and every individual student be as successful as they possibly can be with whatever they choose to be. And if I need to help guide them towards a good decision, then great. If they can come up with it on their own, then that's even better, because that's what I'm hoping happens from the students here at Hatland.
And what's something you've learned from the students?
Something I've learned from the students. I learn a lot from the students. Little things like technology. They always seem to have one up on me with that because they're such users of technology. It really is a useful tool. But a lot of it is the determination that, they're living on such limited budgets and they are dealing with life in a different way than I am and ever have needed to, and the determination and the follow through and the ability to just keep going and the desire to learn. All of that, I'd say, is stuff I learned from the students. So when I'm having a bad day, or I'm not so happy about things that I've accomplished that day, I think about, okay, maybe I didn't accomplish that much today, but I taught a student how to accomplish a lot. So really, I did accomplish something. And sometimes it takes the student telling me what they have accomplished, and in order for me to see what I have learned and what I have accomplished.
Jaded and tough. I wanted sweet lyrics and of course snappy drum beats. And now that I have met you, the music just sounds so sweet. You are my music, you're the song of which I sing. You ocean's rising tide. And I gotta ask you a simple question. Will you please be mine? different truth. You are my music, you're the song of which I sing. You are all I want and all of my dreams. You are so beautiful, like the ocean's rising tide. And I gotta ask you a simple question. Will you please be mine? I've never really been good at lyrics or good at poems, but now that I've met you, I feel like I'm at home. Un, deux, trois, quatre. You are my music, you're the song of which I sing. You are all I want. Will you take this wedding ring? You are so beautiful, like the ocean's rising tide. And I gotta say one thing to you. Thank you, doll, for being mine. Thank you for being mine.
It was at this point that I realized we as a society have a very shallow way of viewing life and each other. The media would have us believe money and the newest iPhone are all we need to be happy. Since moving out to San Pablo and meeting these amazing individuals, I've gained a new sense of gratitude. Life is not easy. Some of us must overcome more than others, but it's the adversity we face that shapes us to be the people we are. Without it, where would we be? One thing's for sure, whether you dwell on your shortcomings or you make the best of your situation, life keeps moving with or without you.